All right, cool. I'm going to see if I can find Justin. He's not there yet. So, all right. Justin said he's going to join me in about 10 minutes. We'll maybe bring him on as well. So we should be live on MLO Network. We've got 22 folks here. We'll probably have some folks on MLO Network in the background. And I'm going to try to get to the point where I can find that on my phone so I can answer questions if they come in. Hopefully I have the chat enabled. So if you're watching, you can ask questions. I see TJ. There we go. All right, cool. All right. Promote to panelists. You ready, TJ? Hopefully you should be moving up the chain. There he is. All right. TJ Barker, ready to go. Cool. All right. There you go, TJ. I got us recording. All right, cool. We're in good shape. So there's a whole bunch of us here today. And today we are focusing on what I had called case studies, but it's really just informal interviews with these three gentlemen. Possibly Justin's going to join us. And what specifically we're going to be talking about are things that they have done differently in the last 6 to 12 months and how those things have led to them doing more VA finance transactions, in theory, being happier with the lifestyle that they're living because they're doing more VA purchases, and doing a good job at them. So TJ, can I have you ask some of the questions? Is that okay, man? Because these work better when I don't talk about myself. They work better when you ask us what we're doing, right?
Yeah, everybody prefers it when you don't talk about yourself. Fish. Like I said, our engagement gets much higher when we have other people than us doing the talking here. So, but yeah, man, absolutely. I'm really excited for today. Fellas, I'm really excited to be here and just to learn from you all. And I know MLO Net's going to really benefit from this as well. So appreciate you all joining us.
All right, we got one late addition, Justin. So, all right, cool. All right. Oops, I screwed this up.
Seriously, man, at some point you just got to let me take over the
just take over.
Zoom
Just
for
run.
you.
Just run. I'm watching comments. I'm pushing buttons. You just roll. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to mute myself.
No, man, no, you get us started here. This is your event.
Right.
Let's go ahead. We're live right now. MLO Net's watching. We got a bunch of people starting to watch here. Let's get rolling. How do you want to start this up? What are you looking for these gentlemen to teach MLO Net today?
Okay, well, we got 53 folks watching. What I am wanting to do is to go through each of these gentlemen individually and ask them where they were at 6 months to a year ago and where they're at now as it relates specifically to VA loan production. And I want them to just tell me what they may have done differently and, where they found the tools, where they decided to take the action and what things they found have been making the biggest changes. Does that make sense, guys?
Yep.
Let's do it this way. We talked to John a bunch in the past, so let's maybe put you in the middle, John. Let's go to you first, Al. So Al, TJ and I are going to ask clarifying questions, but let's start out with you and put you right on the spot. I saw you putting some comments out there on Facebook the other day about your VA production. Talk about where your production was 6-12 months ago and where it's at now and what's different.
Awesome. Morning, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Gotcha. Perfect.
12 months ago, I would say I'm up about a good 30% even in this market. But the biggest thing that I've noticed since, linking up with you guys, this group and a couple other folks is the amount of phone calls I'm receiving and inbox messages on my social media, just by the content that I'm putting out there from a lot of the scenarios that are coming into this group on the Facebook chats, taking some of that information, snapshotting it, putting it on Instagram, Snapchat, other platforms, and then getting everybody to respond to it or certain people to respond to it, whether it's a real estate agent, a consumer, family, friends. It's really done a lot as far as the conversation piece around the VA loan, which I think is probably up, near 100% from what I was getting 6 to 12 months ago, which will in turn, I would hope I would see more production in the next 6 to 12 months moving forward. But it wasn't like this 6 to 12 months ago without the content that I've been receiving since joining the group.
So you're positioning yourself. We got some new people watching that really don't know a lot of what we've done. So you're positioning this as being a VA specialist in the marketplace, as a person who is there to help, to answer questions, But also, you have a message that, hey, who you work with matters. Not all lenders are created equal. Some folks understand these things. So let's not slow down our nation's veterans by misunderstanding them in the marketplace as lenders, as agents, as industry professionals. So Al, where are you getting these ideas for your content? Where's all this coming from?
So back up about 4 years ago, I'm a veteran as well, like a lot of you. So I started with my own niche. I niched myself out in my geographical area as a VA specialist. I created the Veterans Mortgage Center. VALoanVeteran.com is my website. So a lot of people in town just know me as a VA specialist, and there really hasn't been anybody that's done that the way I've done it over the last 3 or 4 years. Then back up 6 months ago when I joined VMA, and the content I was able to pull out and then move forward with that. So really just becoming a huge resource, and the content that I'm getting with different scenarios helps me put it into my own perspective and how I put it out there. And then I engage in the conversation with other folks. I was a wholesale rep for a long time. So in my area where I'm at in California, I know a lot of brokers and bankers. A lot of the guys, loan officers that I collaborate with we're allies. I get a lot of phone calls from those guys as well. Hey man, I got this scenario. What do you think? What can I do? And I'm always willing to help those guys. I've never shied away from that.
So do you find that helping the other industry professionals out in your area ends up leading to extra opportunities for you,
Absolutely.
even in the LOC? Because that abundant-minded concept is hard for a lot of us.
No, I tell you what, being a wholesale rep for 12 years and linking up with other wholesale reps when back and during the boom, that was part of my business, because if they couldn't get it done, they say, hey, call Al, he could probably do it. So I just took that from the wholesale perspective the last 10 years, and I put that in the retail perspective. And here we are. Total volume, I think last year for myself was north of about, I'm going to call it about 30-40 million. So, and I'd say 25 to 30% of that was VA.
Nice. So specifically, you had been building a brand already, but I try hard not to put words in people's mouths, but it's one thing I do. TJ knows. It sounds to me like you poured a little bit of gasoline on that fire with your brand by increasing the amount of messaging you were putting out there, by clarifying, your offer a little bit better, and by positioning yourself as an educator and an advocate for that community, someone who just wanted to help. And now the results of your branding have really gone, not maybe 10x, 2x. I don't know what the number, we didn't talk specific numbers, but there was a piece there that I don't know if it was missing, but it just needed some fine tuning, and that's making a difference for you, correct?
Absolutely. Agree 100%. I
was just on a call with a mortgage coach a few minutes ago, and he was talking about that. Like sometimes what we're missing is not necessarily, throwing everything out and starting all over. It's like maybe we're just missing a little piece. We've already got a bunch of people that know and like us. They're just for some reason not reaching out to us. So that's good stuff, man. I love it.
My content was becoming a little, I'll be honest, it was becoming stale. So I needed something new. I needed a new piece, like you said, to add to it. And I had been looking for it. And I'm just grateful that I came across this group, and it's helped tremendously.
Now, I was hoping you would say this without me saying it, but I'm just going to put it right in your mouth. So basically it sounds like you just took the things that we taught and we were saying and we put on camera and we put out there, and you literally just did what we told you to do, which was copy them and say exactly what we said in your own words and make it
exactly
your own, right? Okay, cool.
Exactly. Cool. Yeah, I think I got slapped on the hand once for something, but it's all right.
Oh, we don't talk about compliance here. It's like we don't talk about Bruno, right? So, all right, good stuff, brother. We'll circle back and do some clarifying.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Let's now. I picked the folks that are on this panel intentionally. I picked some folks who have been in the business a while. I mean, Al, you've been at AE. I picked some LOs that are running a team, and John's running a killer team in Tampa. I also picked an LO who's kind of new to the game. Mark, let's pick on you for a little bit. Sure. You are new to the game. You came to me and were like, man, I'm new. I haven't closed many loans. I don't know if you would even want to help me or have me be part of what you do because I'm so new. And I just kept hearing new. And then I talked to you a little bit about like your background, your skills, and your passion. I'm like, dude, this guy's smart. He is going to get it. in the LO space, sometimes being smart and doing the work is enough. And, but it's also finding the right platform to plug in, the right mentors. And you had been smart and you had been doing some things, but then you kind of plugged into what we were doing. So talk a little bit about your journey, where you're at now, and what's different in your production in the last 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, that's so I am new. So production 6 to 12 months. Well, the production 12 months ago was pretty much non-existent because I'm that new. However, what I found was, of course, you start in the industry. I was with a small broker, and so I didn't have much in the way of support or leads coming in. And so it was, okay, start talking to your friends and family, right? Well, there's only so much friends and family to talk to. And so when I came across you and your message, it really rang true with me. One, because most importantly, while we all do things for money, money doesn't motivate me, doesn't make me get out of the bed and do things. But having a cause and a purpose does. And this purpose resonated with me. And I think I also want to state that we do have some veterans on our panel, like Al, but many of us are not veterans, and you don't have to be to serve the veteran community. I think that's an important distinction to make, because
do you feel like some of the folks that are not veterans, again, like myself, we were initially hesitant because we don't want to be seen as self-serving or stolen valor or any of that kind of stuff. I mean, was it kind of hard for you to embrace that in the beginning?
A little bit, yeah, because I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I ever gonna, outplay a veteran that is also an LO in my market? But I found that it doesn't really matter. The fact remains is, if your intentions are pure and you're there to help the vets, and you know what you're doing, and you specialize and work hard at it, it doesn't really matter in the end.
I'm going to throw something out there just because we talk about it so much, and you raised a super important point. It's that the opportunity to help those that are currently underserved is massive in most marketplaces. And, those feelings that we have individually as LOs about, well, I don't want to, step on a veteran's toes or portray myself as a veteran, or, take something from somebody who deserves it more than me. At the end of the day, if not you, then who? Who is that veteran going to? And in many cases, is someone who hasn't committed at the same level, hasn't trained at the same level, hasn't stepped up to plate at the same level. And it's not necessarily that that LO might be a bad person. I mean, they could be a person with great intentions, but maybe they're plugged into, a big call center where they got 5 minutes of training and they're making mistakes all day, every day, not necessarily because of them, because of leadership. And unfortunately, we still see that in our MLO network. We see people complaining all the time and all that stuff. And it's like, wait a second, the industry needs to be better, but we need people like you, Mark, like Al, to step up and get the message out there. So let's talk about messaging. What have you done differently to get a better message and to build the audience of people that are listening to your message, and maybe even reaching back out to you? What have you done?
Yeah, so I was before I went through your program and at VMA, I did not want to be in the spotlight. I just, that's not my personality, to want to be in the spotlight or in the center. And so it was hard for me. But after taking the VMA course, it really encouraged me to get out there and do a lot of video. And my first video, I actually kind of spoofed my new office, and my new office was my toilet closet. And so it just made me comfortable. And the more videos I did, the more comfortable I become. And still to this day, it's not always the most comfortable. And sometimes I have to do retakes over and over. But the bottom line is, you put yourself out there. And like Al, I just put content out there. I keep my personal videos to anywhere from 10 to 40, 50 seconds. Some people do YouTube stuff that are longer. I keep mine really short, at least for the time being, because it's easier and more comfortable for me. And what I find is, just like Al, you know, rarely, if ever, your video is going to go viral. I mean, sometimes I'm like, is anybody watching these things? But every week, people are reaching out in my direct message, you know, hey, I got a vet that you need to talk to. Or just yesterday, I had a realtor reach out to me, never spoken to her, don't even know who she is. But she was in a group I'm not in. It's a private group, and I was not in that group. She tried tagging me and realized she couldn't. So she literally screenshotted the conversation of somebody that was looking for a VA loan, and then instant messaged me immediately and said, you should reach out to this person. And so the point is people are seeing the message,
Now,
even when you think they're not.
There's a lesson here somewhere. And I think I'm going to lean on TJ a little bit, because I know TJ has been building some things in his LO Leads Academy here. I think, Mark, I know you enough to know that you started putting your stuff on TikTok. And I know that TikTok has a slightly different algorithm than Facebook. Facebook is based on personal interactions. And I've taught this in MLOnet before. You know, if you're messaging people and you're adding them to groups and you're talking to them, just like I do in VMA and just like I do in MLOnet, those people see your feed. So, you know, that's great. You make the interaction, you put the content out there, they see it. Now, TikTok is a little different, right, TJ?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things I was going to say. If you're not on TikTok and Instagram, the two right there, you got to be, especially if you're putting in those short little videos right there. Such an amazing way to quickly build your brand and build authority with that. So Fish and I mean, that's how we've been doing this stuff for years, right? And we're pretty clueless when it comes to actually being loan officers, right? But we built this brand and this authority from doing these seminars.
We used to be, TJ. We used to be.
That's right. That's right. Sorry. Right. So we were able to get with good people who helped us out, right? And gave us support. So, but yeah, I mean, by putting that out there, creating that brand, and Mark, that's where you start to realize all of a sudden people are reaching out to you. You know, someone you've never heard of, you've never met. It's like, hey, you know, I need some help with this. And Al, I want to actually go back to you, because you said it, both of you guys have said this as well. This is the one thing, Fish, and I give you credit from the day that you started working, you know, in this space, working with loan officers. It's always been support, share, help each other out, and good things. I know for a fact when we were working together, I remember times when I was sitting up in Troy, Michigan with you, and you'd get a call from a real estate agent that's working to deal with another loan officer, and you saved that deal, right, for that loan officer, but you won that agent's business moving forward. And so, and I'm confident everyone's doing this here as well. So it's such a big piece of what you do with VMA. But Mark, yeah, back to you, man. Keep making those videos. Give yourself a 2-take limit, right? 2 takes. That's it. Use the best of the 2. No one cares. No one cares. And just get out there, get something like flick.tech on there, do some hashtag research on there for your TikTok stuff. And you'll just see more and more of those videos out there, building that brand, people getting to know you, and more business coming to you. So love what you're doing. Love what you're doing with that, man.
Thank you.
So I think we just segued perfectly into Justin. But before we go over to Justin, so Mark, I mean, I know you talked in the beginning, like you had 0 units, you had 0 opportunities, 0 this, 0 that, everything was pretty much zeros. Just hopefully I don't fall on my face here. Tell me things are not at 0 anymore. I mean, your numbers are looking up, right?
No, things are looking up. And like I said, every single week I'm getting agents I've never spoken to before reaching out and talk to me. And it's transferred from friends and family to now, I would say most of what I'm doing is VA business, and I'm happy. I'm happy with that. I mean, if I'm the VA guy and they send me their, you know, all the agents in the area send me their VA business, cool. I'm happy with that. It'll be as much as I can handle.
I dig it. All right, Justin, we were talking about TikTok. I saw you get excited, even though you're in the shadows there. I could see the excitement in your face. I've had you on camera here before in MLOnet. I think we had a bigger crowd today. We've got 75, 80 people watching. Originally I started this out saying like, talk about what you were doing 6 to 12 months ago and what you're doing now and what's different. I'll leave it open-ended. You take it from there.
Yeah, so if we go back a year ago, can y'all hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Okay, perfect. I'll make sure, new mic, I'm gonna make sure it's working correctly. So if we go back a year ago, I would say that I was probably doing, I may have done 15 VA deals out of the entire year, 12 months ago. Much like Al, that's gone about 30-40% now at this point. My goal is to make VA about 90% of my business. That's what I want to do. And when I knew, so I came back, I had left Movement Mortgage, I came back and I talked to my manager. I'm like, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to do VAs. I don't really know where to start. And he told me to reach out to Jason Steyer. And Jason Steyer is only about 45 minutes away from me. And so that's where I learned about Veteran Mortgage Advisors. And really the only thing I did was I took that content and started to just throw it out there on social media. It was just knowledge base. And then the knowledge base turned into knowledge plus scenario base, because the deals started coming in, I would see these scenarios. And what's really cool is I started teaching a class to a bunch of realtors on how to use TikTok. And to be honest, at the time, I wasn't really using TikTok. So I didn't know what I was doing. I was just teaching the information. And then I got on TikTok myself. And I make the joke, I make the joke all the time that I have a TikTok problem. And it is absolutely 1,000% true. I'm on TikTok a lot. And just within the group, the BMA group, in fact, I think I did one Monday where I tagged Mark in there. I was like, hey, look, don't forget about us lenders who've been fighting tooth and nail for you veterans, while everyone else was not, the realtors were saying, don't take VA offers right now, and now that VA is popular again, I said, hey, Mark's in Georgia. If you're in Georgia, you need to reach out to Mark. If you're in the Carolinas area, you need to be reaching out to Jennifer Miller, all this fun stuff. But I think one of the things that's really cool about TikTok is, number one, it's consistency. You have to be consistent with it. You have to become familiar. And through that, and then through the classes that I teach to these realtors, when I'm teaching them how to use TikTok, I'm inserting almost all of my VA material in there. And I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. I'm now the authority. Now, Jason Steyer's more the authority, but I've become an authority in my community that realtors reach out to me now when they come up, they have a situation and say, hey, we've got this, value came in low, right? And this just happened 2 weeks ago. Hey, value came in low. You were that TikTok lender. This person was already on a contract, so on and so forth. And say, okay, well, and I told them about Tidewater, and then I told them about reconsideration of value, and it blew their freaking minds. And so that, going back to what you said probably about 5 or 10 minutes ago, was the opportunity. Yeah, I'm not doing that deal, but like that, I just earned that realtor's business.
Dude, I love what you're doing, because you're taking something that's hot right now, and that is TikTok. And everyone who's watching this, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do. If you got one of these, you get on TikTok today. I don't care how stupid it is, how bad you feel that your videos are. You got to start doing it.
My office.
What'd you say?
I was trying to.
Oh, yeah, your cam. Yep.
In my office. It's almost the first thing I do when I come in the morning.
Yep. You got to do it, because as you said, it's consistency. It's putting it out there. It's getting your hashtags correct. You're not going to get traffic at first. You're not going to get, and that's what stops so many people with this, because you're like, how many hearts do I have? Come on. And you're like 2, and it's Fisher and my mom, right? I'm like, crap. Well, that didn't go over well. And so, but the consistency starts. And next thing you know, if you do one video for 30 days, every day for 30 days, Justin, how much engagement you're going to have at that point? It's going to be significant.
Yeah, it's huge. And you are correct. The first couple I did, I'd go and look. It's kind of like going to Facebook, say, did someone like my post, right? And it was like, I remember getting excited. I got to 50. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to 50. This is crazy. I've got one out there right now that's 102,000 views on it.
Yep.
I've got some that have, they get in the thousands. Most of them stick around 500, a couple thousand, but that's the consistency, and you have to do it. it's not a one and done. You stay consistent, you become the authority, and then the deals start coming in. They start reaching out. And even if I can't do it, because I only have a Texas and Oklahoma license, if I get someone reach out to me in Georgia, I'm like, go to Mark.
Yeah, you're taking care of your peers at that point. So the one thing I would say with, really though, what I love what you're doing is you're taking this hot social media platform, right? And who knows, 2 years from now, it's gonna be something else.
Right.
You're getting in front of these agents. That's the shiny object, right? Teach you how to be a TikTok celebrity. Shameless plug for Lola. That's one of our ads, right? It's teaching agents how to be a TikTok celebrity. What's up, man?
Is there a specific hashtag you're using on all the TikToks?
Justin?
So I always hashtag my handle, which is @GiveBackLender. I use things like VA, Texas Veteran, Texas Veteran Homes, VA Mortgage, VA Home Loans. So, and you do have to be a little bit careful with them. And I'll use real estate, whatever's pertaining, whatever is a core message to my video. But also, one thing to be watchful of is hashtags get used a lot, and there's some that are in the billions, and you can use those, but don't use everything that's 7 billion times it's been used. Create some of your own, because if the only hashtags you're using are all in the billions, it's going to get lost in translation. It's going to get just muddled with everyone else's. So you got to throw your own stuff in there.
That's good info, because I'm always looking at those ones in the billions. I'm like, so that helps. Yeah.
TJ, you
There's
mentioned
actually,
a hashtag
so
app.
anyone who's interested in hashtag research, if you go to fiverr.com, there are people in there that do, you tell them what you want, they'll do the hashtag research for you. And they'll give you an entire batch of, hey, this is where you're targeting, this is the audience you're targeting, this is who you're trying to get with. And they'll do that research for you, and they'll provide, competitive hashtags in there. Like Justin said, it's just like going on Google. If you're trying to keyword yourself for mortgage, you're not going to get anywhere, right? You're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
But anyway, Justin, just to wrap up, I was saying with you, you took that hot topic, and then you leverage that to brand yourself as the local VA specialist, right?
Correct.
And again, shiny object is TikTok, but the real meat and potatoes of your presentation is the fact that you're a VA specialist with that. And I just think that, again, so huge, so awesome to see you doing that, man.
So Justin, I'm just going to do what I do on all these. I already did it a couple times already. So Justin, you basically took what we were doing and you completely just copied it and put it into your own words, correct?
That is absolutely correct.
Okay, that's all I wanted to hear. We're good.
Yeah.
All right. So what do I say? What do I do? Guys, there's a common theme here. All right, let's move over to John. Thank you for the patience, John. I know that you, like me, don't have a lot of patience. You like to go on to the next task at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And you probably told your story in MLO net before, but maybe give us the condensed version of, where you might have been a year ago, where you're at now, things that you did differently, and how it's increased your specifically VA production. Make sense?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, in the very, very simple things, I always just joke and say I'm a Fisher fanboy because when I got into this business 5 years ago, I worked I was an LO for a small broker and without much training. And so I liked the broker channel a lot, and I didn't want to go to a big one. So I just said that I'm going to teach myself. And so it was MLO net that I would sit up all night and read scenarios and talk to it. And I always kept seeing Fisher commenting on things, and he seemed to be like the authority, and he was like the one guy that wasn't talking trash. And so I just started reaching out to him, and he got me into military mortgage boot camp. And I was like, oh, I can learn a lot from here, because I used to think that VA loans were tough. And then that was like in 2020. And probably in 2020, I was somewhere around 30 million in total volume, and probably 6 million of that was VA on that. And just because I'm in Tampa, and Tampa's a big VA market there, and I just happen to have a few realtors that would use me. So I fell into VA by accident. I got some opportunities just from being around a big base. But then when I joined the military mortgage boot camp, and really started diving in deep and learning the language from all the videos that Jason Steyer and Michael Fisher and Eric Inslee and Brad Stinson would do. And next thing you know, I started sounding like them. And I was like, ooh, I sound smart there. And I could hear myself doing it. And so like just listening to these videos over and over and over. And then I fell into this opportunity where I'm in now, where it's basically like a branch manager type role for, like I get like the raw pricing. I can kind of direct where I want to price at. And I'm designed to lose a little bit of money on each loan as a branch for VA. Like, and I tell realtors that. And I say, hey, listen, like VA is my loss leader into you. I want to show you that I can close loans fast, do them great, and then give your veteran or active duty service member a phenomenal deal. And I would say, this is because Michael Fisher is the realtor and I love Michael Fisher and you get the greatest deal of the century. Like we try to do great for them, like really shine on the realtor. And then we close their loan quickly. And then I tell the realtors, if you see how great I do at VA, I can do all your loans on that. And a lot of my content is all just from the VMA stuff. And I watch what they do. And then I get a lot of opportunities. And then now I have my own stories. And then I've learned to more story sell on that. And then I make it a habit. Every realtor I talk to, I say, Mark, I'm selfish. I want all of your business. But think of me when you think of VA, because every VA loan that doesn't close reinforces the negative stereotype that VA loans are harder. And that goes against our mission. And then I use the VMA group to share value to the realtors to say, listen, I'm in this group. There's about 300 of us now representing about 40 different companies. And after I get my 5-year-old, my 3-year-old, and my 2-year-old to bed, my pregnant wife with my 4th kid falls asleep, I log on to a Facebook group and help other LOs close VA loans. Like it's an addiction. It's a passion. And VA is about 30% of my business. And I'm last year it was 20%. And so I've made some great strides and really making it more. And it's a habit. And then in August, 10 of my 22 closings are VA on that. And when I look back at the last 25 referrals I got, probably 14 of the 25 were VA. And a lot of these big realtors here in Tampa, sometimes I'm just their VA guy. And like they have their lender that's co-market Zillow. And I'm like, listen, I'm not here to break up that relationship. You'll never get $1 out of me for Zillow or realtor.com. All my money goes to my staff to help you close loans quickly. I'm not the person that co-markets. But again, think of me when you think of VA, and I'll make you look really good. And hashtag Rocket Rescue. Like we're always saving loans from Rocket Mortgage, and it's like hopefully I don't get a cease and desist. But if I do, who cares? I say this all the time to realtors. Is like I'll never talk badly about Navy Federal or Veterans United, or Navy Federal or USAA. They do a lot for our veterans, but I've never lost a mortgage competition. But I will tell you, friends don't let friends use Veterans United or Rocket Mortgage, and like they snatch defeat from the jaws of victory on that. And there's a lot of times these headset jockeys where VA it's not hard, but you got to make a little extra effort. And getting brand new into the business on a headset in the call center, you're going to make some mistakes. And when that mistake happens, that's a veteran that might be PCSing across the country that's now in a bad situation. And now I got to pick up that loan and close it in 8 calendar days because otherwise they're going to be homeless. And then I let those realtors know, like, listen, I rescued this deal. I want your next 5 opportunities. And they can all be VA. That's fine. But
you're hitting on a bunch of really, really, really hot button topics here. Like number one, how do I get past the gatekeeper? We hear that all the time. We see those posts in MLO net. And so, well, what's John's method? Well, it sounds like you just said, I get past the gatekeeper because I'm so passionate about what I still think is an underserved population that the realtors need to hear my message and they want to hear my message. Cool. Yeah. I got past the gatekeeper. Now I got past the gatekeeper. What did I do? Well, I just freaking kicked ass. I showed up like God sent me. And I just said, look, we closed them fast. We got them a great deal, 5-star review, made you look like a rock star. Guess what? We do this consistently all the time. This is us. We're just full of badassery. So,
And then, so then also too, like once you start doing it and then you like now I'm fortunate now, like I have 120 plus 5-star reviews on Google. So now I tell people, I'm like, listen, go check out my Google reviews. They kind of speak for themselves. And then when you look at them, the message shows like how much we care. And a lot of them are talking about VA loans in there. And really trying to get myself as a specialist. And the greatest thing too is like teaching classes. If it's not about VA, it could be about first-time home buyers. Like if you're out there teaching classes, then you are looked as an authority. Like on this opportunity here today, I just copy and pasted this and said, hey, look, I'm going to be in a group of 12,000 other LOs that I'm going to be sharing secrets. And other realtors on my page will see that. It's like, wow, John's teaching other LOs about VA, gives them the credibility. Same thing with like the VMA has once you finish the course, the PowerPoint that you go in and teach classes to real estate offices. Like I try to do one a week. I've fallen off of that a little bit. I've only done 12 classes all year. But those 12 classes, a lot of them were big brokerages where I got these big swinging realtors that, again, I'm just their VA guy right now, but eventually I'll get them all, hopefully, on there. And then, so what's great is, yes, I just regurgitate what Michael Fisher, Eric Inslee, Jason Steyer, Brad Stinson are saying on their stuff. I put my little John twist into it. And I have 45 slides that the VMA gave me that I can teach a 2-hour course on it. And then I just Johnify it and make it my own little message because I used to be offended when Fisher said this. It's like, John, you're not an LO, you're just a marketer. I'm like, oh, well, I am. Like I'm going out there to share how great me and my team are and how great I am at VA loans. And I should be the authority. Like you are doing your client a disservice, not sending them to me.
You just nailed it. It came full circle on something we brought up earlier in the call. And, this concept, I've heard this word from a lot of people, but Jody Bruns from Certified Divorce Lending Professional really kind of branded it into my head the last 6-7 months. Knowledge-based marketing. Your marketing becomes a lot easier when you know what you're doing, because it's much easier to get out there and talk about the problems, talk about the solutions, talk about the opportunities that are being missed when you know what you're doing, quite simply. Like yesterday, not to toot my own horn, but I made a video on my personal Facebook page. You guys can all check it out. It wasn't great. The sound was terrible. The angle wasn't my favorite. The light wasn't, whatever. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, I made that message in one take, and I had quite a few people reach out and say, oh, this is great. This is great. This is good stuff, Mike. That would not have happened 4 or 5 years ago because I didn't know what I was talking about back then. Once we committed, as a team to know what we're doing and to specifically talk as much as we could about the problems of the VA loan and how to solve them, the solutions, the conversations, what we were saying on camera, what we were saying on stage, what we were saying on the phone, what we were typing became a lot more clear. And it wasn't just, one person reinventing the wheel. It was a community of people coming together, sharing ideas, sharing each other's topics, sharing each other's scripts. The last thing I have to say is a pretty long call here would be like, hey, all of you here, you pretty much are part of this community. Like raise your hand if you copied an idea pretty much verbatim from somebody else in the community. Like 100%, right? All of you have. Nobody's raising their hand, John. Okay, yeah, totally. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel to the point where you're like, oh, I don't know what to say. Like what you need to say, if you want to go down this path and be a VA specialist, we've already been doing that for years. We've worked on it. We've got a lot of people in this community. So that's the last thing. I'll let TJ close this one up.
I had 2 more things.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Well, you talked about starve for education. Like you said, knowledge-based marketing. I think a lot of realtors are like in this uncertain market, need someone to be an authority to share that knowledge. I'm not a veteran. I was really nervous about that. I thought that I would be like a poser or like this, you're just doing this to be an opportunist. And I think once people see it and how much they care and how much you do it, they become the best referral sources, and they see how genuine I am, that I want to help get them done. Because like when I can't get something done, like you said, like how Justin was talking about, you refer them out and you get nothing out of it. That law of abundance mentality And then the other one was just make the video. Like I hated, I was so scared of doing videos, and how Fisher just talked about how you just point and click. The content's out there. And I used to get so mad. I'm like, man, I'm going to go viral on this one. This is a good one. And it has like, no likes and a few shares, but then people slide into the DMs and say, hey, I got a quick question for you. So even though they might not be liking or commenting, they're still watching in there. And then I saw some comments in here, and if you're in the Florida area, you're welcome to come to my my class I'm teaching. It's an open forum, trying to get 100 attendees. And so it's just a mass marketing thing. And that's the last opportunity I was going to say is when you host these courses, how many people, especially that like if they're in the mortgage marketing animals or on core, 8:30 a.m. rolls around, everyone's calling realtors, right? And it's like, oh, of course, every LO is calling me. What is this? Well, instead of asking for business, I'm inviting them to my course to share knowledge with them. There's a purpose behind my call, and I'm not asking for them their business. I'm like, hey, can you come bring a couple friends? I promise not that bad. I got some really good food on there. We're gonna give away some good prizes, and eventually I'm gonna do CE. And it's because like, the biggest thing is what's in it for me. That's all realtors, not all realtors, but a lot of realtors care. Like what's good for them. Well, share them the business opportunity. You get the buy, you get the sell when they get PCS, and then you get the 25% referral fee when they PCS out of state within there. So it's realtors, you got to let them know what's in it for them. And I built my business around the VA, and it's kind of neat. Like my VA average loan size is 380 compared to my normal other non-VA of 315. So like my average loan size is a lot bigger than the VA. So like that's what like could be like for LOs thinking here, like, should I get into VA? The VA buyer is strong, and you can get more deals done on conventional, refer eligible. VA, accept, like you can get much more deals done with the VA. So I'm done.
All right. Bring it home, TJ. Close it all up for us. We talked a lot.
So I would say that the biggest lesson that I'm taking from this, it's not necessarily that these guys went in and said, hey, I am now the VA specialist, right? It's that they decided to go ahead and build a brand around a particular product, and then they took action. And I think anyone can do this. If you don't want to do VA loans, that's fine, right? It could be USDA. It could be your first time home buyer. Like some of us are glutton for punishment and love working with people that, need down payment assistance type of thing, right? But you build your brand, you're consistent with it. It's not an overnight strategy, right? It's not, it's not ads. I love ads, right? Especially guys, especially if you're doing VA and you want leads, TikTok, paid ads, that's where it is right now. It's crushing Facebook and Instagram. But you build the strategy, you're consistent with it, you get your message out there, you have that giver's gain mentality with whatever you're doing with this, and it comes back to you, right? However you want to look at it. Consistency, hard work, karma, whatever the case is, if you're putting that out there, you're consistent with your message, you've got the great attitude, you're trying to serve your client base, you will be successful. The biggest thing though is you got to make the decision of who you are, because you can't be the jack of all trades and try to do something like this, right? You got to figure out what your niche is. Niches make riches. Make the damn video, be consistent. 30-day challenge. You heard what Justin said. Come in, do your video. Matter of fact, I think our call next week is actually going to be around TikTok. So
just give China your information, no big deal.
What'd you say?
Just give China your information, no big deal.
Right.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. As long as you're not giving out your social security number, right? Yeah. So you're good.
Yeah. So I've got either TikTok with MLO Net next week, or I got John David Adams, who just wrote a book on renovation. I was going to bring him on. Either way, we'll figure it out. We'll have both of those for you here. I'm really terrible at selling stuff to loan officers. I don't like LOs and, exchanging money. I like to help people for free all the time, but these missions, they grow, they get bigger, they get stronger when people actually support us. If you want to learn more about what all these gentlemen are talking about, veteranmortgageadvisor.com is where you would go. You can message me at any time. I'll tell you as well if you need a little bit more information on that. Full program, at this point, 70 some videos, like hours of content, but they're broke down into small sections with lessons and PowerPoints and handouts and tests and all that kind of stuff. Presentations that you can pull, copy and use to teach real estate agents. Content ideas, again, you can just follow the leaders in the group and watch what we do. That's what Veteran Mortgage Advisor is. It's not just a training, it's a community, it's a program. And we do events once in a while. We got a solid event coming up in Dallas, VMAsummit.com. Our last couple of events have had a ton of LOs. A handful of these guys were at the events. And again, we're all helping people learn how to brand, learn how to specialize. And even though, yes, we talk about VA all the time, and some people say, like, I don't want to be pigeonholed or specialized or whatever. The things we teach are so relevant because we're pulling them, not just from the VA space, we're pulling them from all different places, from social media leaders, from mortgage leaders. We're teaching LOs at the end of the day how to be better LOs. And, we found out, wow, if they have a passion for something and we teach them how to be good, they actually do the work. So it's a solid community. I can't say enough about the folks that are in the community that support us, like all these gentlemen here. And I guess that's about all I'm going to say about what we do. But again, veteranmortgageadvisor.com, VAsummit.com, 2 ways you can support the things that we do and we try to bring to the folks in MLO net. So cool.
Very cool. All right. A couple comments in here just before we wrap up. How often should we be posting videos? I think we talked about that daily. Love my VA rental loans. Good. Can you drop your TikTok handles so we can find you? If you guys want to put your TikTok handles, just post them in the Facebook group. Don't do it in here and put them in the Facebook group. Awesome call. Thank you. Asking to give back lender. Looking forward to Dallas. The extent you work, I'm assuming it's the work with brokers. Absolutely. See, that's on there. One thing I would say, guys, with VMA, like I said before, it's not just about veteran stuff, right? You're learning how to build a brand and take a strategy that you can apply to all parts of your business. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys joining. Appreciate you guys sharing with me. Justin, I want to catch up with you, man. It's been about a year since we last chatted, man. Let's go ahead and get caught up there. We'll have to, chat with you a little bit. MLO Net, we appreciate you guys. Stay tuned. We'll be back next week.
Thank you, guys.